Hello, good morning and good afternoon, everyone. I hope you guys have enjoyed this spook intro from Jack, our CSM here at Orbus. Thank you all for joining us today for one more session of our Orbinar. My name is Guilherme Piccoli. I'm Customer Success Manager here at Orbus. I work with our OrbusInfinity customer base to ensure that they are getting the most out of the platform and maximizing the value. Prior to that, I have worked in the customer success space for over 4 years and with customers across multiple industries and regions. Joining myself today, I have our consultant, Maxime. Maxime, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm professional services consult here in the Orbus software, already working there 2 years. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Maxime. And on today's topic, we are talking about self-service reporting, especially using OData. Okay, and on today's agenda, we're going to start with a brief introduction with myself. We're going to go through some considerations we need to have in mind before we start working with OData. We're also going to explore different methods you should use based on your requirements and a specific process you should consider when working with data as well. We're also going to be sharing with you some resource that you can start with. Following that, we're going to have Maxime doing a hands-on demonstration, and we're going to wrap it up with a Q&A session if we have some time at the end, okay? So I want to start talking about why we're bringing the topic of self-service reporting on today's session. I think it's evident that any business is currently thriving in a fast-paced environment, and the demand for data-driven insight has become highly crucial to any company's success. And we have organizations across different types of industries that are realizing the harnessing the power of data is the key to making informed decisions, to stay competitive and to drive growth. However, most importantly is how we can provide accurate data in the correct form and in the right time to guide your stakeholders in the decision-making process, and also overcome the challenge of translating what enterprise architects want to say in a way that the business can understand. So as many of you might be familiar, OrbusInfinity offers a wide range of out-of-the-box reports. However, we know that many businesses have their own particularities and requires customization to represent the value that they're trying to achieve using OrbusInfinity. So with that in mind, we have two options considering the level of complexity versus the time for accomplishment. So if you're trying to build something simple using relationships of different objects, like creating a traceability or a landscape view that you're not able to replicate or expose in your SharePoint site, then in that case, the first option will be giving a try and build your own report. So with OData, you will be able to do that. And now if you're trying to build something more complex, like complex visualizations that require advanced queries, like filters, counterparts, also bringing in hierarchical relationships, or if you need to have any documents embedded, then in this case, if you do not have the expertise in-house, the second option would be buying by using our professional services team to help build your own report, not only in Power BI, but also in any BI platform that your company might use. So before start working with OData, we have a couple considerations, right? If you plan to build your own dashboards. So the first one, it will be people. So who is going to create it? Is it going to be the architects? Perhaps they might not be the most appropriate team to do it. So ideally, you would like to have a dedicated team with Power BI expertise, like a business intelligence team or BI developers or data analysts. So if you have them, we highly recommend for you guys to leverage if possible, okay? So in terms of prerequisites, this one is quite simple. It's related to the software that you're going to be using. In this case, we are using Power BI Desktop. Power BI Desktop is free. You just need to download the latest version and you're good to go. So from an OrbusInfinity point of view, you also need to have the author's license, especially because you need to have access to the API to generate the OData links and also authorize any connections required. The other consideration that we have is around licensing. So once you start considering publishing the reports, the Power BI freemium version is free to develop, okay? However, to consume as a viewer, it requires the professional or the premium version. So some of the companies that we work with, they have Power BI as a service or Power BI Online, which includes the capabilities for creating, sharing, and consuming the insights. And lastly, we have hosting, okay? So if you are creating your own reports, we expect you to have the capacity to host it. However, if Orbus create the custom report for you, we do also offer the capacity to host that particular report on your behalf and give you access through your Solutions Hub. So here we talk about the purpose versus the complexity. Okay, so I think the main question that you should be asking now is, what's the purpose you're looking for your custom reports? We highly recommend for you to use OData if your purpose is to build something basic. For example, if you are trying to share your IT standards to your business users, and that includes data regarding application based on the category and the type. So now if you're trying to build something that requires a medium level, which is still achievable with OData, because in the end of the day, you're going to be working with a list of objects and relationships. But now it's important to bear in mind that if you would have the capacity, the time, or also consider other factors that might be involved, or perhaps you should start counting, considering count on our professional services team to assist you, okay? So now if you have something really complex where you want to compare, for example, an as-is process to a to-be process, and on top of that, you want to have a list of contents. So in this case, if you do not have the expertise in-house, we highly recommend for you guys to reach out to us for assistance. So usually there's a simple cycle that you need to go through when working with data. So the first one is to get the data that you want to use for your dashboard and your report. And once you have the data, you need to connect. And sometimes it requires you to transform the data depending on the type of information you want to show on the report. Then you go through creating the reports. So here we have a couple considerations before you start creating the reports. We highly recommend you to plan beforehand, okay? So thinking about having a mockup, thinking about the layout, understand the type of charts you want to use, what is the best way to display the data that you're using, for example, if it's a chart, if it's a list, or if it's a matrix, and etc. So then you create and test your reports accordingly. So once your report is tested, now it's time to share it, okay? So you can share using the Power BI service, or you can embed in SharePoint. So you can either create a dedicated page for your dashboards and report, or you can add to an existing page that you already have. And lastly, after sharing it, it's time for you to make your decisions, right? But also consider analyzing and monitoring the data. And last but not least, promote it. Spread the word across the departments and teams that you think might be relevant. So when comes, so with OrbusInfinity, there's two ways you can connect to retrieve data from. Okay, one is OData, which is the method that we're using here today, and the other one is REST API. So technically, OData is a protocol built on top of the REST framework. This is what we'll be focusing during our demo. So as mentioned to you guys before, OData is commonly used for basic and medium reports, because with OData, you're not going to be able to retrieve any counterparts or documents. So in this case, you would need the REST API with such complex queries. OData is simple to start and it's very intuitive. You can bring data from tables and you barely need to transform it. So it's very good for people that are starting because it gives you a very good overview of Power BI. And there's also the familiarity with OrbusInfinity because the views that you're creating OrbusInfinity will be the ones that you are utilizing for your dashboards and reports. And on the other side, we have REST API. So this method we recommend for you to use if you want to build complex reports. It gives more flexibility because you're able to access and retrieve information from meta models, from relationships, and from documents as well. But it also requires advanced level of querying. And just before we move into our demonstration, we just have like a final considerations here. So we want to share with you a couple resources that we have. So the first one, we recommend you to learn the basics of Power BI Desktop. So we're sharing a link with you with the Microsoft Learning Platform where you can access all the documentation related to Power BI. And they also have a learning pathway that you can take as well. So we also have two step-by-step guide on our knowledge base, okay, for you to understand a little bit more how to start displaying and manage the data in Power BI. And yeah, once again, it's all about the purpose of the report that you're trying to build. Make sure you collect the data and plan your requirements. If it's possible, generate mockups so you can easily see what you're trying to present. And one more time, we have two different options for publishing. So you can host the reports by yourself, where you're going to be managing the frequency of refresh and require you to rely on the Power BI license. Or Orbus can host the reports for you. We can provide you automate daily refresh, and you just need to have the viewer's license in place. So Maxime, that's it from my side. I'm gonna hand over to you for our live demo.
Yeah, thank you, Chelera. Really good introduction. Let me first of all share my screen with you. Okay. I hope that you can see. If you can just confirm with me that you can see OrbusInfinity.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, cool, thank you. So I will start with the OrbusInfinity instance. Okay, once you have your data here in the OrbusInfinity, you can actually consolidate this by the views. So what we'll be using for today's webinar is the 4 views that we have. The first of all, this is the application portfolio list view that contains the attributes against applications like the lifecycle status, owner, deployment model, vendor, build, so on and so forth. As well, we do have 3 other views that the capability contains the capability. So this is our the capability decomposition. Then we do have the capability realized by the application, and application realizes the application category. Those 3 views are built by using the filter where we are choosing the exact relationship. Okay, so like in this case, capability contains the capability. So in the filter, we are mentioning the relationship is of type Courier. Capability contains the capability. Okay, so how to load the list views, because only the list views can be loaded using the OData. We will copy our OrbusInfinity instance and we'll open the Power BI desktop in our machine. Okay. Then we will click on the Get Data here and type Open Data Protocol. Okay. Then we're gonna connect and pass the URL to our OrbusInfinity, and then by / adding the OData, and then finally views. Click OK. So then in the navigator, under the display options, we will be able to see all of the views that we have in the OrbusInfinity, including our own views as well as the common views. So for this webinar, we will be using the webinar application portfolio and 3 other views that we just explored. So I will just go and give the check mark. Okay, good. Before loading our data, I will just go and let's transform some of the things here in the advanced editor. Okay. So first of all, the capability contains capability. If you will have a look, this has the lead object and the member object. Okay, but in our case, we do have the 3 levels of the capabilities, and let's say in the Power BI, we want to show the capabilities that realized by the applications. Okay, at the 3rd level of the capability. So actually, to do the decomposition, because the objects in the lead object column, okay, might be members to the other object in the view, and objects actually in the member object column can be also like the leads. So to do this, we can follow the knowledge base that we have and just copy and paste the query from there, which is really easy. We go to the knowledge base, and to decompose our capability decomposition, we're gonna use this formula. Okay, go again to the Power Query. Okay, and then go to the advanced editor and just replace this. And then the last thing that you need to do here is to replace the view URL, which should be the exact URL to the view for the capability contains capability. Okay, so what I will do, I will revert back to our OrbusInfinity. We'll go inside of the capability contains capability. We'll click here to download the view content and a generate live link that can be simply copied to the clipboard. Good. Then again, revert it back to the advanced editor. I will just replace the view URL by our and click done. After performing this action, so you see that now we do have level 1 capability, level 2 capability, okay, and then level 2 capability contains the level 3 capability, okay. As well, what we can do additionally, we can simply then change the properties of our tables here, okay, just by removing, for example, the ID of the views here, okay, and then finally capability is realized by the application. Good, we're good to go. So we can close and apply the Power Query editor, which will trigger load of our content to the data. Then before creating any visualization, we need as well go to the model view to create the relationships between the tables. Okay, so I'm going to click to the model view. As well, I can expand our tables here. Okay, that we see the names. Then we do have the webinar application portfolio view. Actually, in this view, it is as well a recommendation from us. Always try to keep the iServer 365 ID, which is the unique one for your objects. As well, if you do have the, let's say, the capability decomposition view list, so let's try to keep as well the lead and the member model ID. okay? Because then in the model view, it will be then simple to relay them between each other. So what I will do, first of all, I will relay the i-server365 ID by just clicking and drag and drop to the member model ID. Okay, why I'm doing this? Because this is the unique ID for my application, and then following the relationship capability is realized by the application. So our application, this is the member model item ID. So we're relating the ID to the ID. As well, what we're gonna do, we will relate our third level of the capabilities where we're relating the application to the capability in the OrbusInfinity to our lead model item ID. Okay, and here we will change the direction of the relationship from one to many to many to many, because you know that the capability can contain multiple capabilities, and as well one capability can be realized by different applications, by multiple applications. Then the same, where we have the application realize the application category, I'm gonna create additional relationship from application iServer 365 ID to the lead model ID, which is our application to the application. Good. Finally, I will go to the report view. And now once the relationship is created, I can start building my visualizations. First of all, I will build the visualization by using the metrics here. We'll expand our data table with the capability decomposition. And here in the rows, we will be adding our capabilities. Okay. And then, of course, I will go and rename this to the capability here. Additionally, what I will do by accessing the capability is realized by the application. We will use the member object, okay, which is the application here to the values, okay, and then we will change this to the count to see how many applications realizing our capabilities. So we're gonna go further here and explore, expand the capability hierarchy and see what is the amount of the applications realizing this capability. Okay, as well I can change the format visuals. Of course, it's up to you here. Yeah. And then I will go and create another table here where I will place our applications here. As well, this can be renamed, like it will be our application name. And then from the application portfolio, since we created this relationship between the tables, we can drag and drop as well the deployment model here that we want to see, lifecycle status, owner, vendor, cost, etc. Okay. Then, additionally, if we have a list of our applications, we can do a simple conditional formatting for, let's say, for one of our attributes. We will use for it the lifecycle status. So here, by selecting the table, here in the columns, we can press on the arrow and then go to the conditional formatting and pick up, let's say, for this case, the background color, and specify here the rules. If the value is equal to the live, then it will be red color, green color. Then new rule, if it's retired, then it will be red. Then facing out application, And by clicking OK, you will see that you will apply the conditional formatting with the background color to the lifecycle status. Okay. Then if you want to try to click, for example, just to ensure that our tables responding correctly, let's say we will click on the manage customer accounts here. So we will see that the applications that realizing this actually filtered. Okay. The same, we click on the customer services operation, 8 applications. So same it there. Good. Then let's explore the other visualizations that we commonly using. So I would use the donut chart or the pie chart, okay? And then in the legend, what I will do, I will drag and drop from the application portfolio the deployment model here, and then to the values, I will drag our member object, which is the application that is related to the capability. Okay. Here as well, I can rename this, that this is the application by deployment model. Yeah. As well here in the slices, you can also define the color coding. So it's up to you. Additionally, what we gonna add here to the dashboard is the clustered by the chart visualization, where we're gonna put our build to the y-axis here, and then the same, the member object to the x-axis. Okay, so we can see what is the build for our applications here. If I will click the format visuals, of course I can say to show me the data labels here. Yeah. And then with the bars, I can define as well the color coding. Vice versa, instead of the build, you can use, let's say, the lifecycle status. Okay. And then in the count of member objects, we will use just the count distinct, so the unique names of our applications. And here as well, in the bars, you can define the formulas, where the live can be equal to the green, proposed to another color, so on and so forth. Okay, so we will use as well the renaming option, the application by the lifecycle status. Good. When we click again on the manage customer accounts capability at a third level, we see that everything is playing around. Okay, we do see that the application that realizing this capability, we do see the amount of the applications by lifecycle status and as well by the deployment model. Good. If you see here, for example, that the lifecycle status for some of the applications is missed, okay, we can always include, let's say, the lifecycle status from an application portfolio to the filters on the page. Okay, select all and disable the empty values here. But keep in mind that this will impact the capabilities that realized by the applications, because the empty by the lifecycle applications will be not shown here. Okay. As well, I will just rename here count of the member object for the by application. Good. Additionally, what is the common request from our customers? They wanna navigate directly to the OrbusInfinity object details from the Power BI. So how to do this? Here we need to go to the transform data. We do have our webinar application portfolio query. where we can click on the manage parameters and define a new parameter, which will be called object URL with the type text. And here in the current value, we'll just insert the URL from our OrbusInfinity and click OK. Here as well, by the right click on the object URL parameter, we will enable the load. Okay, and then by closing and apply, we can observe that the object URL column is there. Then if we're gonna use this on the application portfolio table, we're gonna click on the more options where we see the webinar application portfolio, create a new column, and then as well, this is mentioned in our knowledge base, so we can just copy and paste the query for concatenating the values. So what I will do, yeah, so this is the object URL equal to the concatenate the object URL column, and as well leading actually to your OrbusInfinity. So by copy pasting this formula, yeah, and applying the commit, we will see that this is loaded. And then in the data category for the object URL, we will specify that this is the web URL. Okay, and then simply we're gonna add this object URL table to our columns here. Okay, now it becomes the live links here. What we're gonna do additionally by clicking on the table and going to the format your visual, we're gonna expand the URL icon and then enable here the values. So it will become the URL icon. Or we wanna, for example, go to the Salesforce Sales Cloud application from our Power BI dashboard. Okay, I click. And here we go. We are on the Salesforce Sales Cloud. Good. Additionally, as well, people likes the cards, okay, to understand, okay, how many applications, how many capabilities in the portfolio do I have? So we can use for this another visualization, which is the card or quick cards. Okay, we're gonna place it on the top right here, and we're gonna reuse for this the table which is called the capability constraint, the capability, to understand how many capabilities at each level do we have. Okay, so here I will add the level 1. Okay, so this will be the distinct count of the capabilities that we have on the first level. Yeah. As well, I will add level 2, the same distinct count, and a level 3. Good. As well, I will rename here for the visual that this will be level 1 capability, and do the same for rest. It will be our level 2 capabilities, and finally level 3 capability. Okay, so we gonna know that, so how many capabilities at each level that we maintaining we do have. Okay, so 5 capabilities at the first level, 24 on the second, 71 on the third level. Good. As well, just for the visuals, because people like it Okay, so you can first of all build your really simple visualizations that I did, and then modify them actually here in the format visuals, just by defining the styles presets, for example, to the minimal. Then in the general, you can do some of the effects just to enable the visual boards for some of your views or tables. Okay, the same here. Good. As well, additionally, we can name this tab as the capability by applications. And we're gonna add additionally a second page where we will go with the applications by app category. Good. So we're gonna create another similar view, but without using the advanced editor query, because we do have just a simple list of the applications categories in the OrbusInfinity. Okay, so the just one level, and then the applications that realize in the application category. So what I'm gonna do, I will expand our application realizes application category data table. Then I will use kind of metrics here, the same. Here, the application category, this is our member, okay, following the name of our relationship. So we're gonna add to the rows our member object, okay, which is the app category. Good. And then we're gonna add our lead object as the values here. And then by clicking on the count, okay, to see so how many applications realizing our application category. Okay, I'll also rename this one. Okay, and then just to repeat the exercise, okay, we're gonna additionally go and select the table here, where we're gonna add the lead object, which is our applications here, and of course from the application portfolio we're gonna add, let's say, lifecycle status, owner, vendor, so on and so forth. By clicking on the application category, we can ensure, okay, because there is the relationship created in the model view. When we click on the certain application category, we see that the applications that are realizing this one. Good. Finally, what I will do, as you know, it is free for you to create the Power BI dashboards. If you wanna actually publish this dashboard to your Power BI space, so you need to have the Power BI space for this. Yeah. And if you want to share this report with the wider business, so you require to have the Power BI Pro license or the premium per user license. And then your users to view the report should have as well the Power BI Pro license. Okay. If you will be hosting, of course, this report locally. Good. So I'm gonna save this report and we'll name this applications by capability and category. Save. And then additionally, what we're gonna do, but I guess you're aware about this if you're using the Power BI services, we're gonna go actually to the Power BI space, quickly log in here. I'll just use my account to log in quickly. Okay, verify. So here, once it's opened, I can go actually to the workspaces that are available from my organization or to my own workspace and simply upload the report that I just created. So I'll just go browse and we'll go with the one that we just created. So the applications by the capability and the category. Open. So it will import it there, so the report and the data set. So then additionally, if you will be hosting this report, you can actually go and schedule the refresh for your convenient time, of course, and set up actually the ad hoc refresh if you want. Okay. As a last step for this demo, I will just additionally open the Power BI dashboard that we created, and in the OrbusInfinity, we're gonna add the application that realizing the capability, and then we will refresh the report just to oversee how our data can be simply updated. So let's say in the corporate accounting, where we have the manage account reporting, we will create the additional relationship to our application. So I'm gonna search for the manage account reporting here in the OrbusInfinity. Reporting. Okay, here is our capability. Then I'm gonna go to the related items and create the additional relationship to the application. Automatically, this is picked up from the meta model that the capability is realized by the application. And here we need to type the name of the application. For example, if it's the new one, okay, we're gonna type and add. If it's the existing one, we're gonna choose from a list. Okay. Let's say that the manage account reporting, it will be in the sub finance new application that we're introducing. So I'm gonna add this here and click add. So then when it's processed in the Power BI, we're gonna go and ensure that we don't have the filters there. We're gonna refresh our data. It can take some time to load the rows, but you see that this has been automatically changed. So now if we click to the manage account reporting, okay, we see the sub finance here. Okay, so the same will be done if you publish this report to your workspace and schedule this report. Good. Yeah, this is all from my side for this demo. So happy to answer for the questions if you have so.
Perfect. Thank you, Maxime. Just let me quickly come back to my presentation real quick. We can move on to the Q&A. Yeah, thank you so much, Maxime. One more time, it was a really thorough and helpful demonstration. Yeah, I think we have some time for some last-minute Q&A before we wrap up. So just let me go through the questions right here. So first question, it would be, will Orbus continue to invest effort in improving the out-of-the-box Power BI-based report packs? So in this case, yes, our product team is constantly improving out-of-the-box reports, and this is something that we have a couple features coming up in our roadmap. So we are planning to host a dedicated roadmap webinar in the end of the year. So we want to give you more visibility on what's yet to come. Second question that we have here. Can you share some examples of reports other customers have built? So in this case here, we have our Power BI team here at Orbus that they're currently working on improving the documentation of our, the Power BI connector, and also intend to bring additional, documentation and guidance to our customers to help them develop the reports. And with that, we have some templates as well. So the other questions that we have here is, do you need a viewer license with OrbusInfinity for reports we build ourselves? So this will depend on the way that you'll be hosting the reports. So if you're hosting the reports by yourself, so in this case, you don't need a viewer license in the aspect, but you will rely on your current Power BI license. However, if Orbus is hosting those reports for you, in this case, the viewer license would be required to have access into your SharePoint page. The other question that we have here, and I think Maxim, you can take this one. How many custom Power BI reports can I make with OrbusInfinity?
So actually, you don't have a limit here if it's your own Power BI dashboards. So we can just through the OData feed or through the API. So just to get this data and actually create as many reports as you want actually, which is actually due to your availability on the Power BI space. So yeah, there is no limit.
Perfect. I think there's another one here. Maxim, I think it would be good to take this one. The examples illustrated are filtered views available within OrbusInfinity today. Some types of views are not currently available to publish to SharePoint. Is the use case for using Power BI to plug in this gap or more customized reports?
This is more advanced things. So we're gonna reply actually by the email.
Okay, perfect.
This is a good question.
And the other question that we have here, where did you get the script that you used to get the capability level table?
If you can come again with this question.
Where did you get the script that you used to get the capability level table?
Yeah, good question. Let me then quickly share my screen. Okay. And then pick up the monitor. Yeah. So here basically we do have a knowledge base that you can access directly from your OrbusInfinity by clicking there and going to the knowledge base. Then by typing the Power BI, here is some really powerful articles. Okay, let me just quickly use it again. Okay, there is 2 articles for the manage data in the Power BI and the display one. Okay, so if you're gonna go to the manage data here, so here we're again explaining about the object URL. So this should be then the display one. Okay, but we have the section, so how to load the views with the relationships in the Power BI. Okay, so this is the step-by-step illustration, okay, we do have the process decomposition, or we have the another decomposition from one object to another. For this, what you will need to do is actually have in your view the lead and the member model ID, and then you're gonna go here and following this instruction, copy and paste this formula to your advanced query editor, where you see the, let's say in this case, the capability decomposition to decompose the levels. Okay. As well, the formula can be extended for the level 4, level 5 if you have so. Yeah, thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Guys, we're just conscious that we're heading at time, so if you haven't had your questions answered, so we'll be addressing that by email, so feel free to reach out to your CSM or to your account manager if you guys have any further questions. And we highly appreciate your time today here with us, and we hope to see you soon in our next Orbinar. Have a great day, guys. Thank you.